Hello and welcome to the Norwegian Woods. Today I am out on a new location. Again, it is a place that's not really far from where I live, and I have never fished here before, so this is the first time I bring my fishing rod to this place. I am trying to figure out a way to put together a little bit more lightweight day trip, fishing trip setup. So I want to fit everything inside a small backpack with my camera gear and everything. So yeah, I brought one rod. It is a fixed spool pike rod, and a small box of lures, some little bit of variety, but not too much. It's a little bit easier to carry it, and yeah, you can't use all that many lures in one afternoon anyway, so I think this may be the way to go. This is my first little pike of the day. There you go. Not a bad little guy. So at least there is pike in this little lake. Tangled up. I don't know exactly what you call this kind of water. I see in a lot of videos they're called ponds in English. I don't know if that's the right word. Here in Norway we call them tjern. I believe there is an English word that's tarn. I don't know if this falls into that category. I don't know, but at least it is a small forest lake, forest pond. Not all that small, but it's, yeah, it holds fish. That's good. I have experienced in the past that when you move along the shoreline like this, you often get a hit on your first cast. At least that's the see that it's really shallow, close to where I am. There's a small rock, and I can assume that out from there there's a shallow part that runs out into the water. And I can't reach that rock because it's too wet inside this area. It's too much water, and I don't have any gear for wading. But yeah, I didn't get a strike on my first cast, but from my experience, that happens quite often, because the fish can get a little bit spooked, I guess. When we keep on throwing pretty much in the same place, they hear the sound and the vibrations in the water. I guess sometimes that can also trigger some hits, but I just had a little hit here. Let's see if he will bite again. Never know. He was just touching the tail. Oh! That's really cool. Let's see if he tries again. It's just a small one. This is the first time I use a action camera. I figured out that it would be a really good idea for making fishing videos to get a little bit more of the close action. So I got myself a second-hand one. Maybe it is time to change the lure. This Rapala hybrid bait is, I like it quite much, but I brought a few different lures, so maybe the Pike wants something different today. Maybe a good old spoon bait can be a success. I don't know, but we will see. I should try. These kind of lures is, yeah, they have been used in this part of the world to catch pike for many years. And they're not as fancy as some of the new stuff, but yeah, they seem to work really good. This little spoon is called Abu Garcia Atom, and it's 55 grams, so it sinks quite fast. I don't know if it's the perfect spoon for this kind of shallow area. I have to reel it, not really fast, but I can't be too slow with it, because then it hits the bottom. And all these lily pads, that's no big problem. They snap pretty easy when you get stuck in them. But when you get more like heavy grass, then you can get stuck quite bad. The stems of the lily pads just snap off when the hook hit them. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. It's actually quite nice to fish with a spoon, because it's really quite easy to cast it. You can get quite far compared to some of the big rubber baits. Lately I've been using mostly the bait caster reel, so yeah, my technique is a little bit rusty on this fixed pool, but yeah, I managed to get the lures out there. See, the lilies just snap off. Don't give much resistance for this pretty stiff rod. I'm trying to move to the other side of the lake. I see that there is probably a little bit too much water in this area, so I guess I will need to take a detour. This is a little bit of an adventure to find my way through this area. I just ran into a little snake. He crawled off before I could turn on my camera, so I didn't get bitten and he didn't get stepped on by me. But I don't want to be running into more of his brothers and sisters. The snakes we have here in Norway, it's called hoggorm. I really don't remember the English name for it. I guess it's you can call it a northern viper or something like that. But here I am running into some problems. How do I cross this creek? Here it seems like the water is running a little bit more slowly, so then I can probably manage to get over. Oh yeah, I see that there is a lot of animal tracks in this exact spot, so I guess I am not the only one that's looking for a way to the other side of the lake. I see that we are in beaver territory. There is a lot of beaver activity. They're really nice animals, but they can make a mess out of these kind of areas. And it seems like I have managed to get to the other side of this little overgrown bay. And I think that there is some good fishing spots on this side. It looked like that at least from the other side. So we will see. I was feeling the bottom quite hard out there with this kind of slow, fast sinking spoon, so I figured that a little jerkbait may be a try, maybe worth it. The water I'm fishing in is actually quite dark, so I think that some kind of strong color may be a good idea, but because this hybrid bait was catching a little bit on the other side, so we'll see. This rod I'm fishing with may be a little bit too long to be ideal to fish with jerkbaits, but I have done it before and caught fish, so I can make this lipless swim baits moving quite good ways. Oh my, that's a pike. That is a pike. Right next to me. It's too tight spots for this long rod. The guy that owns this area, he told me that there's supposed to be some really good perch fishing in this little lake as well. But I guess the fish that was moving right next to me, it was a pike. I guess that little bay I'm fishing here is actually quite an ideal place for pike fishing, because there is seems like there's a little bit of deeper areas outside this little bay, and they have some lily pads. That's some really good cover for the pike. And inside there's a little stream going in that I had to find my way around. That's bringing fresh and oxygen and also some nutrients into the water for the bait fish. So yeah, it's a really good hunting place for the pike, I guess. It's really not ideal with this long rod in this really tight spot. I have a feeling might be a pike in the little pocket behind these lily pads. Ooh, that scared the shit out of me. Oh, oh, oh. He didn't. Oh, see, oh, I might. My jerkbait. It looks like this leader is getting quite torn up. Oh man. What a aggressive little guy that was. I'm afraid he felt my hooks on this last go. But maybe he will bite again, because he was really going for it. See, the hooks were tangled with the leader, so the jerkbait was going up on the surface, but he still attacked it. The forecast said that there was going to be a little bit of rain in the afternoon. I had a little bit now, and it was a really beautiful rainbow. But I hope it doesn't come too much rain. But we will see. I think that this spot is not ideal, because it can be a little bit hard to land a big pike where I'm fishing. I manage I can do something down there if I'm lucky. But usually when I pick out spots to fish from land, I like to consider that it should be possible to handle the fish if it bites on the hooks. In this area there is not only beavers that do damage to the forest. You see here, it's a lot of wild boar activity. There's a lot of pigs in this part of the area where I live, so I'm not surprised to see some damage from the wild boar. So this spot is another really nice and pikey spot, in my opinion. There's this little bay with some water lilies that give some cover for the pike, and on this side there is a little bit sharper bay, and here this point that comes out from there. And I would assume that when you see how the rock is sloping out into the water, this shape will continue for quite a bit out in the water. So I guess that there is some structure that the pike can hide under out in all of this little area. So we'll see if I can manage to catch something. Well, I'm actually standing out here on the point. I see that there is a rock formation that goes out in the water. When I was looking from over there, I didn't see what was going on the other side, because out here it seems like it's a steep drop-off. So I guess there is this edge that runs from the shoreline and out. So maybe it's a little bit deeper on the outside and more shallow on the inside. And that can be useful to know if you want to catch some big pike, because usually they can stay on this on the edge of this shallow areas out against the deep areas. So maybe I should put on something that runs a little bit deeper and throw just on the outside edge of this shelf. What I did put on was this little, it's a traditional spinner. It's a MEPS number 3, 24 grams. It's a little bit light to throw on this rod, but it's okay. And in my experience, these little spinners, they go a little bit deeper than the jerk baits and some of the other stuff I brought. So I'm gonna see if I have any luck with this. There are specialty spinners, like spinner baits and stuff like that. It's good inside the weeds, but I didn't bring one of those. I have a couple at home, but yeah, the spinners are. I've caught a lot of pike here in Norway. A lot of people swear by them. They give off a lot of vibrations, and yeah, they can trigger some good bites from some hungry pikes. The downside with using spinners is they tend to twist and tangle up your lines. So the last lure I brought with me today is this little rubber perch. It's got some really bright colors, and it's got a really natural kind of movement in the water. It swims really nicely. You can see it's a slow sink, and it's a little bit hard to show you, but you see it's waggling its tail just like probably a really sick perch. So yeah, let's see if this one can attract some action. On this side of the lake, it's a little bit more difficult to find nice spots to fish from, but yeah, there are some spots. So this one looks actually pretty good. Gives some good cover for the pikes, and it's probably a little bit of a shallow area outside this little bay. Yep, there it's stuck. One thing that can be nice to try out if you get tangled up in the weeds is to move to the opposite direction from where you was getting stuck, and try to pull loose. I see that there are some beavers Some beavers that has taken down some birch trees. Let's see. See, like they've taken down most of the trees and then the wind has pushed them out in the water. That's not a good thing for me as a fisherman. See the hooks. Yeah, I didn't. Maybe I bent that one just slightly. But this little rapala bait has got some strong hooks. One thing that's really good when the beavers throw trees out in the water like this is that the perch has a place to spawn. The perch really needs a lot of this kind of cover and this kind of environment to spawn in the late spring. So if you put some tree branches in piles out in the water, you get a lot more perch in your little ponds. So I guess there can be some good perch fishing around these trees. But yeah, I managed to get my lure back. Seems like this is the end of this little lake. Yeah, I want to do a little bit more fishing on this spot, and then I probably go back to where the little stream was hitting this lake on the opposite side, and try a little bit more before I go home, because yeah, that's where I had the most activity, and it seems like the wind is blowing towards that side of the water, and usually that can also bring some food for the bait fish. So yeah, and probably be more attractive to the pike. So we'll see. I have seen that I get some questions in the comments in some of my videos about where I live and where I go out and make my videos, where I do my camping, and also where I do my fishing. I really don't want to say, because I think it's kind of like a part of the adventure for everyone to find these spots and these places by themselves. I really believe that that's part of the experience and part of the adventure, to search out these spots. So yeah, you probably know that I live in the southeastern part of Norway, close to the Swedish border, and I usually don't travel very far to make videos and to go camping. I believe that you can have a lot of good experiences close to where you live. So and that's about as specific as I want to be with regarding where I make my videos. I want to say though that here in Norway we have this allemannsretten, this right to roam. So if you go to Norway or you live in Norway, you're allowed to go camping wherever you want in nature. There are some definitions and some stuff you need to be aware of, but you're allowed to go and experience nature pretty much everywhere in Norway. When regarding fishing, it's a little bit of a different thing, because a lot of people don't know this, but the right to go fishing in lakes in Norway, it belongs to the owner of the land. So a lot of places you can buy like fishing permits, and yeah, it's tangled up a little bit again. But places like this, and the right is to fish here belongs to the landowner. Before I went out today, I called the guy that owns this place, and I know him. And as it usually is, it's no problem. People really appreciate that you just call and ask if it's okay that you go fishing. So most of the time that's not a problem. But you should be aware that you can't go and fish everywhere in Norway, even though you have the right to go camping. It's two different things. I just saw this. This is chanterelles, really nice mushrooms. I haven't seen a lot of them, so I don't want to start picking mushrooms now, because it's getting too late in the afternoon. But at least they're starting to come up. That's good. I love chanterelles. So then I have found my way back to the other side of the lake. It looks a little bit different now because it's in the shade. I don't know if that's going to affect the fishing in a good or in a bad way. It can go both ways. We will see. I think I want to try out my little jerkbait again. I don't know if the fish cares about what lure I'm using, but yeah, I think the whole thing with the lure choice is more to do with the fisherman than the fish. You have to believe in the stuff that you put on the end of your line. That's really, really important. I guess the pike is, yeah, they just go for whatever they can see and hear. Of course, the lure can have something to say, but I guess it has more to do with the guy at the other end of the line. You have to stay focused, and you have to, yeah, keep believing it. And to change the lure from time to time can help you do that. It's a little bit of a different technique with the different lures, and yeah, it basically keeps you focused on what you're doing. think I am about to move a little bit again. I guess I want to go back into the sun and see if I can give a few more casts on the side where I started. So I guess I will have to find my way across the stream again, between all these wet areas and dangerous snakes. They are actually not all that dangerous. This hoggorm, it can be dangerous if you're allergic to them. But yeah, a lot of people get quite sick, so they recommend that you go to the hospital if you get bitten by one. So I do not intend to do that. So then I'm back to where I started, and the bay here is where I had my first contact. So I want to see if he or some of his siblings want to play before I go home. So I guess this is the last cast of the day. Yeah, nothing on the last cast. I didn't catch anything on my last cast, but I've had a really nice afternoon and evening out in the woods. I have explored like half of this little lake or pond or whatever you want to call it. I had some contacts with some pike, and that's what I was hoping for. I got one just when I started, but I didn't manage to catch any more during the day. Then I have packed up my stuff. It's really nice to be able to fit everything inside a small backpack, because that makes everything easier when you're walking, just for a little day trip to do some fishing and to check out some new areas. So yeah, I am hoping to put up a lot more videos like this in the future, in addition to, of course, the little bit more like the bigger videos where I go and spend the night and maybe 2 or 3 nights out in the woods with some more camera equipment and a little bit further away from everything. That's the kind of trips I really enjoy. But a small fishing trip in an afternoon is not too shabby either. So yeah, I hope to make a few of these. Until the next time, take care and bye bye for now.